welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a major announcement the UFC made during the main card of UFC 311. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev will be happening this coming March at UFC 313. This is huge news because for the longest time, a lot of people thought the UFC was just shielding Alex Pereira from Magomed Ankalaev and that Ankalaev will never be able to get his title shot. Now, when I look online to find out what people think about this event, I say it's very controversial. I see it's kind of 50-50 regarding who would win the fight, and if you believe that Magomed Ankalaev will beat Pereira, I don't think you're delusional. However, after watching both of these guys fight for quite some time, I think Alex Pereira is going to win, and without wasting any more time, let's jump right into the video. The argument regarding Ankalaev beating Alex Pereira is that Ankalaev can shoot offensive takedowns unlike the rest of the retards in the light heavyweight division. Now, fair enough. That is pretty true. We see Ankalaev utilize his wrestling against the likes of Jan Blachowicz, who Pereira arguably lost to, Nikita Krylov, who is the submission threat guy of the division, and Anthony Smith, who was somehow ranked number 5 in the light heavyweight division at the time. Ankalaev is by far the most well-rounded fighter in this division, and I'd argue he's better on the feet than Alex's past opponents. Like, listen, I love Yuri Prohaska and Jamahal Hill, but they are terrible technique-wise. I think Ankalaev is overall much better than both of these guys, and I'd argue he's a better overall fighter than Khalil Roundtree because he's a lot more dynamic than Roundtree, who only sticks with Muay Thai. I do love Ankalaev, and I agree with a lot of Ankalaev fans on a lot of things. He's the best fighter Alex Pereira will have to face in this division, and he's not a boring crotch sniffer like Pereira fans will have you believe. Ankalaev actually loves to throw hands, and relative to the rest of the fighters in this division, his boxing is a lot better than most. Hell, I will not be mad if Ankalaev wins because he's a very good fighter that can knock people out if necessary. Sure, we may not be able to get the Pereira triple champ, but Ankalaev winning will open a new set of matchups that I'm excited to watch, like Ankalaev versus Prohaska and Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz too. Despite all the reasons I listed above, there's only one reason why I believe Alex Pereira will beat Magomed Ankalaev, and that is because Ankalaev is retarded. Ankalaev and Pereira have been going back and forth on Twitter for the longest time, and Ankalaev always says that he's going to be the one to knock out Alex Pereira only striking. Now, we've heard this quite a few times by other opponents, and maybe this is some kind of ploy to sell the fight because most casual fans do not want to see Pereira get wrestle fucked. But why do I so see him only using his striking until he gets rocked or he's down at least 3 rounds? This happened in his fight against Jan Blachowicz. During the first 3 rounds of the fight, Jan Blachowicz was chewing up Ankalaev's legs. It wasn't until both legs were completely battered where Ankalaev started primarily wrestling, and it wasn't like his legs were getting chewed up immediately. This happened over the course of 15 minutes. Now, fair enough, he did adjust around the end of the 3rd round into the 4th round and immediately started shooting double legs. But why did it take this oath till the 4th round to do so? If he's this dominant wrestling threat, I would assume he can implement his wrestling as a way to prevent Jan Blachowicz from chewing up his calves, like, I don't know, maybe like 5, 10 minutes into the fight, but clearly not because he didn't do so until the 4th round. Now I get that he arguably should have won the fight, but it shouldn't have been close if Ankalaev was willing to wrestle from the start. He shot one takedown over the course of like 13 minutes or so and didn't bother to shoot another one until the end of the 3rd round or the beginning of the 4th. I don't remember off the top of my head. I can see Ankalaev actually trying to only kickbox with Alex Pereira for at least 2 rounds, and throughout all of Ankalaev's fights, you never really see him put people out in the 1st round. It takes a minute for him to get his reads in, and he doesn't start tuning motherfuckers up until the 2nd round onward. Against someone as dangerous as Alex Pereira is on the feet, unless you immediately shoot double legs into him first thing, that is a very dangerous game to play. It's not a matter of whether or not I think Ankalaev's that much worse at striking than Pereira is. It's just that Ankalaev is dumb enough to let Alex Pereira strike for at least the first 5 to 10 minutes of the fight. And I know this because I enjoy watching Ankalaev fight, and I watched his last 4 fights. Again, it may have worked against lesser opponents, but Other than Jan Blachowicz, Ankalaev has never fought a striker of Pereira's caliber. The difference between Pereira and Jan Blachowicz, however, is that Pereira can knock you out with one punch, whereas Blachowicz takes some time to find the knockout shot. And also, something important to note, the UFC for sure wants Alex Pereira to beat Magomed Ankalaev. A lot of corporate shenanigans are coming into play for this fight. The UFC had delayed this fight for so long that Pereira is actually developing grappling skills outside of just holding onto guillotines for dear life. This fight is also taking place within Ramadan when Muslim fighters like Ankalaev have to go under a very strict schedule of fasting for an entire month of March. Also, Pereira and Ankalaev go to a close decision. Who the fuck do you think is winning that fight according to the judges' scorecards? It's going to be Alex Pereira. I will be happy for Ankalaev if he wins, but there are just too many factors to look at that are going against Ankalaev at the moment. Now, that being said, if he is able to defeat Alex Pereira, then it's definitive that Ankalaev is the best heavyweight on the planet. I do appreciate Ankalaev for taking this fight during Ramadan because this is one of the more highly anticipated fights the UFC has to offer. I see a lot of people online picking Magomed Ankalaev, and if you are one of those people, I don't think you are delusional because again, he is very well rounded and he is the most difficult challenge for Alex Pereira. But I'm just pointing out Ankalaev's tendencies, weaknesses, and all the corporate shenanigans that factor into this fight, which is why I believe Alex Pereira will defeat Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 313. All right, this is going to be it for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below who you guys believe will win this fight later this March. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.